Tonight, we welcome Jonny Ross Andrew, Michael Weldon, and Jared Wallace, the trio known collectively as State Faults. They are part of a proud lineage of great punk bands that have come out of the North Bay in the last decade, and a part of a smaller but also proud lineage of great punk bands that have joined Onstage with Jim and Tom.
All right.
So here's the agenda. We're going to have a deep-reaching, emotionally stretching conversation.
Of course.
And then we are going to be treated to a collection of songs by the one and only State Faults.
Woo.
Welcome to the program, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Here's a question that we should always ask, but we never do. Where does the name come from?
Oh, man.
It's like the worst question.
Then we'll cut it. But here's something interesting. We had Rags on. We had Rags on a couple weeks ago. Remember the band Rags?
Yeah.
Remember the band Rags?
I do remember Rags,
yeah. Do you know where their band name comes from?
No.
See, we didn't find this out till afterwards, and I was like, this would have been interesting information to have during the show. And the reason they're called Rags, is because the lead guy, Charlie Davenport, it's his middle name.
Oh, Rags?
Right.
Like legally his middle name.
Legally his
Rags.
middle name.
Charles
that was
Rags
what his
Davenport.
parents bestowed upon him.
That's kind of cool.
My middle name is State Faults. So.
There we go.
Yeah.
And that's where the band's name comes from.
Yeah.
There's no political statement.
No.
Well, it's like Dawkins or
It's-
Van Halen. Just your name.
Yeah.
Not weird.
Well,
It's really good.
some people are musicians, artists, individuals are very opinionated and
Right.
political, and they would say, "Oh, State Faults." That sounds like a statement of some kind, but you roll your eyes at that.
Well, it's really just like bad-mouthing Michael because he has so many faults.
Right.
We're always stating them.
Well, we used to be Brother Bear, so
What did Brother Bear? Where'd that name come from?
Brother Bear. Well, I don't really.
Did we just call each other Brother
we just
Bear a couple times?
I think in a text message, somebody
Yeah.
called one of the other guys Brother Bear.
And we were like, let's just name our band that.
Like, let's do
That's a
Brother
great
Bear.
name.
Tom Gaffey.
What?
What was your first band's name?
Oh God. Jeez. It was actually called Off the Cuff.
Off the cuff.
Were you
bad.
Were you a cover band? Because that's what it sounds like.
Why isn't this called Off the Cuff with Jim and Tom?
We were thinking about calling it Far Out with Jim and Tom.
Dude,
as
that's
he says it so much.
That is cool.
Yeah. But-
Far Out with Jim and Tom.
Well, because you just say it a lot.
That's true.
It's Far Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that was a dumb question to lead with. We will not look.
You don't need to cut it, though. This was pretty entertaining.
We're gonna.
And it connected to the whole Brother Bear thing.
Yeah.
Because that was part of the reason. Because eventually we're like, oh, fuck, Disney, Brother Bear. Oh, a million other bands called Brother
You
Bear.
know what? And we had never
Really?
seen that movie until we started the band, and we were
Yeah.
very disappointed.
This is
And
how... Oh, go ahead.
Well, there's another band that was called Brother Bear, and it's funny because they had done some on their website, made some blog posts about how they actually won a court case against some other band who was using Brother Bear.
Wow.
And they're like, we legally have the name Brother Bear now.
What I would have liked was that the name Brother Bear came from the fact. So it was you and him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And when I say you and him, I mean Jared and I mean Jonny for those audio listeners. I would have liked it if it's like you were brother. And he was Bear. And
Like
it was,
Hall & Oates?
you know, well, you know, if they were pet names, I'd be fine with that.
Right.
You know, you could really screw
I'm a
those other
bear for
bands.
sure.
Well,
Kind of it'd be more like
you're
Brother
hairy,
Twink.
right?
But that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You
bigger,
could call
but
it Brother and
I'm a twink
Bear.
versatile.
There you go.
Yeah.
Twink versatile, yeah. Do you know what that means?
Oh, no. Yeah, aren't we a little early
It's
for that?
inappropriate.
It just means that you're willing to do both.
yeah.
There you
And
have
everything in between.
Michael's a power bottom.
Definitely a power bottom.
Do you think so?
I don't think so. I feel like I'm a slender man. I don't have much going on.
Oh, no.
It's not how it... Well, I don't know how it works.
My
so-
friend.
Okay.
You don't. Your
Apparently,
size.
you're going to get a lesson.
Your size makes no difference about whether you're power bottom or
Okay.
not. It's
It's the
it's
power
what you
generated.
bring to the
Is
table.
it endurance?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
No, well, kind of.
All right.
No, I'm just saying what you bring to the table.
So that's interesting.
Table, bed,
like a
chair,
loaded-
back seat, whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
Wherever you want to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't. The location not important. Anyway,
McDonald's bathroom.
we don't have time machines. We look forward, not backwards.
Yes.
But maybe Brother Twink would have been the good name for the band.
It would have made way more sense.
I would have liked that.
Could you
Anyway.
imagine?
If only we could go back in
Yeah.
time.
Well, and you know,
Yeah,
that
start this over again. No.
it works because of twinkly emo. Some of the bands in the emo scene are called twinkle daddies because their guitars are so twinkly sounding.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Really?
kind of a goofy.
It's a goofy
term.
name.
I've always thought that the term the shoegaze music was a goofy term.
It is a
also.
goofy
What do you
term.
think about that? Do you know about shoegaze
No,
music?
I've only been doing this for 30 years, and I don't recall any
This is
of this.
okay. This is interesting. What are like big shoegaze bands?
Oh,
My Bloody Valentine.
Oh.
Slow Dive.
Is-
Ride, I think, is considered.
So
the
what are we
first-
talking about?
This is so
Shoegaze. What are we
fascinating.
talking
This
about
is so
with shoegaze?
fascinating. When I first learned this, it was like, "Ugh, this is so cool. Would you like? Who wants to explain what shoegaze
it's
is?
like, okay, someone interject if I'm wrong. It has to do with the kind of music, and the dudes are rocking so many effects that they're constantly looking at their shoes, making sure they're turning on all their stuff at the right time.
They're constantly staring at the floor at their effect pedals,
And it's
they're just and it's somber music, so they're usually just like,
yeah.
just, like,
So
head
I think
down.
that's where it all kind of derives
and it's
from.
very the music's very washy. It's very reverb and delay.
And now that you mention some of that stuff, and you might notice that the audience is actually honoring the whole thing by shoegazing themselves.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that happens a lot.
I feel like a lot of our audiences are definitely
Yeah.
Shoegazing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something. I just love the image that the term "twinkle daddy" evokes.
like a leather daddy.
Well, exactly. Similar, but different. All right, I have an experiment with this, and if it goes great, it goes great, and if it doesn't, that's fine.
Yeah.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So when we prep for these things, and you and I didn't really know you guys personally prior to this. It's kind of like doing research and like meeting somebody like online and getting ready to go on a date with them.
Yeah.
It's like you want to
Stalking.
like it's like stalking. And no, seriously, and it's like well, I want to make sure we have something to talk about.
Right.
I want to make sure that I don't sound like a total idiot.
Did you guys notice there was a Honda kind of hanging out in your neighborhoods for the last week or so?
Oh, that's your Honda?
So,
Binoculars.
I guess my first question would be in regards to that. Have any of you ever done internet dating before?
Oh yeah. Well, like, do you mean like Match.com, or just you met a girl on Instagram and you're like, I'm gonna
I
pursue
want
it?
all of it.
Okay.
Fun fact: my current girlfriend, who I've been with for the past year, almost year and a half, I met online on an online dating site.
Which online dating site
It was OkCupid.
Okay, Cupid.
Yeah.
And then was there
Christian Mingle.
Farmers only.
Okay, J-Date. That's the Jewish one. Anyway, did you have to like go through a lot of maybe non-matches before you got to her?
Yeah. See, it was weird that I found myself on that site because I always thought that was just ridiculous, and why would anybody use a dating site?
Was it an ego thing, you think?
Could be. I mean,
Would you go on an internet dating site?
No.
I'll make them a profile on Farmers Only.
But two of my best friends met and had a wedding here, 2 weeks ago that had met on a dating site.
They did. The world is changing.
I saw
Yeah,
the
the world
pictures
is-
of that. That was
Yeah.
a beautiful
and it-
wedding.
It really was. And they are quite a couple. I can't imagine one without the other.
Mm.
So it changed my mind. I'd never even heard of such a thing.
I
really.
probably wouldn't recommend it to anybody, but it worked for me. It was like a really low kind of point in my life that I decided, why not try it? Because what else? What could go wrong? I mean, I guess a lot of things.
You could die.
I figure
They
like
make
okay,
movies about that stuff.
I get some, I check some people out. If I'm not into them, I don't have to talk to these people, and I figured I'm a guy, so I'm probably going to have a much easier experience on a site like that than if I was a girl.
That's interesting. I would think the opposite.
Really?
I would think like for a guy. I mean, and we're talking in a heteronormative world here, so
Yes.
please pause for a moment. We'll get back to the anal play later on. But no, I would think that the guy, it's like they're applying for a job. Because there's so many more guys that are on there, I would think, than women.
Oh, you do raise an
yes.
interesting point because it is kind of like that.
It's competition.
There are more guys on these things, you think?
I would just think that like men traditionally are thought of as more horn doggy, and
Yeah.
and like women are traditionally thought of as maybe being a little bit more selective. And again,
Right.
these are probably
And,
inappropriate and
heteronormative.
probably going
Well-
to get beaten up by about saying these
Well,
things.
stereotypes. You're not saying it's absolutely
No,
like
but
that.
I mean-
No, and all the really dumb guys are on Craigslist doing it.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so
Well-
you're just putting yourself in a vulnerable position. You
You
know
are,
what I
yeah.
mean? But both people are.
Well, my girlfriend, her name's Dana. She told me the same thing, and that I was the only guy who actually had like something normal to say, like that wasn't totally creepy and like obviously hitting on her.
Yeah.
So I guess
There's a blog we follow called Straight White Boys Texting. And it's a lot of like internet, not just texting, but like internet stuff, and a lot of dudes on the internet say a lot of inappropriate things right away.
Yeah, I was
do.
surprised
Yeah.
at some of the stuff she was telling me that she would, get all the. She said because she got, told she got out of a, really bad breakup, and a friend recommended, why don't you just go on OkCupid? Like, what, might as well just try it out. And no, she was telling me about all hundreds of emails and stuff that she get from these guys.
Two questions. Number one, Jonny Ross Andrew,
Yes.
if you'd like to throw anything into the old crazy date intimacy conversation pile, you're welcome
dude.
to.
Yes.
You're
Well,
welcome to.
There's
like-
a good story that I can think of, but let's see if you'll tell
Wait,
me.
what's the good story that you can think of?
It involved a classic car. That was a great story.
Oh, dude, I don't think I should tell that on.
Is this a
I'll tell it.
backseat story?
No, it's not.
have
It's
to drop
actually a
any
hood
names.
story.
Hood story.
I was dating a girl.
Oh, you're
Um,
really telling this?
I'm telling it, dude.
That's all right.
It happened in the past.
It's in the past.
You're
dude.
right.
I was
You're
like
right.
17.
And how old are you now?
I'm 25.
Oh, ancient
Yes.
history.
Ancient. I'm
Yeah.
so old. So she had horses, and we were at her. I was visiting her horse stable for the first time, and the woman that owned the stables had a little garage with a very old, very nice, very well taken care of Porsche in it.
What
And-
color was the Porsche?
What color?
Yeah.
Green. It was green. And the inside of the garage was not furnished. I remember that. It was very unfinished.
Go on.
Okay, so.
But there was this car.
There was like.
And being 17 and still living at home and trying to get any chance you can get at intimacy, we decided to go into this garage thinking she didn't see us, and I guess she totally saw us. And we proceeded to to make love on the hood of this Porsche.
Which begs the question, and by the way, I'm loving the Jared question, so please keep it
very
going. I like the
intimate.
tone. I just like everything about it.
It does.
But I have a question.
Was it a 911?
What? No, that's
Porsche
a type
911.
of a car.
I have no idea.
It was a tragedy.
But
dude.
you know,
I mean, it wasn't one of those 914s or because those things.
so I mean, I makes me think before you finish the story. It's like, is 17-year-old Jonny Ross Andrew, is he an aggressive lovemaker?
Much more maybe aggressive in the sense that I have no idea what I'm doing and I'm just going for it.
That's good.
Does any of one of us really know what
Still
we're doing?
don't.
Thank you.
That's the human experience.
Thank you very much.
But we were found out. One, she saw us go in. Two, I left evidence behind on the hood. And I was banned from ever coming back.
Oh my
Jeez. So
So you left evidence behind, which would suggest then that she waited for you to finish?
she must have just been like, I don't even want to deal with that
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Okay.
These two teens.
And you had to do it on the car, huh?
Dude, I don't know. It was like, there it was. And
It's truly
What
like
was
a
that,
Guns N' Roses kind of like.
What was that
like
music video
rock
with
star
with the
moment.
chick on the
Whitesnake.
Whitesnake.
it was like, I wasn't even, there was no thinking involved. It was just like, there, let's go. Let's do it. We're inside. She can't see us.
Yeah, and so she could.
As fast as we can.
I guess my one last question would be, do you remember any of the lines from her excoriation of you?
Well, she didn't excoriate me. She waited until my girlfriend at the time
That disgusting
had come
young
back.
man was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, until I was gone and she had come back again and she was like, hey, by the way, he's not allowed back because I know what you guys did.
Oh, boy.
Were you completely nude on the Porsche?
No. Around that time, there's too much risk in getting nude, so it's mainly just like shirt tucked under my chin, pants kind of pulled down. You got to be ready to like fight or flight. You got to be ready to pull up and go.
How did you possibly perform under that
Jesus.
that extreme anxiety?
Life finds a way.
Yeah, I don't know.
Going
that I
back to
could,
Jurassic Park.
Back to Jurassic.
The Jurassic Park, life finds a way.
Yeah, I got a question for State Faults. There used to be a fourth member,
Yes.
Yes.
they did.
and so what? Is it okay?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool. It's just one of those things that kind of like, he's one of our best friends, and I think after a while, I mean, we all hang out, when we're not playing music, and that was just one of those things that I think it worked. Our band with those four members worked because we all loved hanging out with each other. And I think in that case, he liked hanging out with us a little bit more than he enjoyed the music side of it. So, and we had a couple.
That's got to be interesting. That's tough on the dynamic when you lose a member and become a three-piece. How did that work? How was that change?
Well, I mean, he, while being a very important member, didn't really help a lot with the writing, I guess. So, like, we are the three songwriters principally. So,
I guess
the dynamic still there.
Yeah, I think that's kind of why we decided to at least
stay
a three-piece.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not to say maybe in the future we'll find like the perfect dude or dudette and then like be a four-piece again.
Right.
But I think that was kind of the mentality. Like, well, we've been friends. We've been through this thing for like almost five years now.
Yeah, we know how it works.
Yeah,
we know
and
how
so
each other
instead
work.
of trying to find a new person, try to make it jive, like not only on a friendship level, but like a working relationship level, like we're all good to go. And
Yeah, Michael and I have been jamming since high school.
yeah,
So, like,
and we've known each other
since third grade.
So that's like 17 years of being friends, and I feel like which it's also
And never
kinda,
once a big rift, huh?
no.
Oh, I mean the one time.
Junior high.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear
Yeah,
it.
the
Let's hear
one time that actually happened. I don't know if you remember. It was right before I joined. What was once Brother Bear, because I very much was in like shitty adulthood, where he's like, "Hey, I'm starting this band. Do you want to do it?"
And Michael's like, no, I'm going to go to college.
Exactly. I was like, well, I got this
What a
job
waste.
and I'm going to school, so I can't do it. But then he started sending me some of the demos him and Jared were doing, and I was like, this is like really good. So I immediately dropped out of college.
Broke up with his girlfriend.
Broke up with not my current girlfriend, then girlfriend, and all the money I had saved from working that I was planning on doing for college, I spent on all new gear. And
It almost it almost didn't happen, and it's kind of cute because Johnny, them being so close, Johnny and Michael, that we got an email from Johnny saying, "Hey guys, I don't think I can be in the band anymore. I love playing music with my best buddy Michael."
I didn't know how to combine both worlds at the
right,
time.
yeah.
So he was going to branch off and just start doing music with Michael, and we're like, dude, why can't Michael just be in the band?
And I was like, oh yeah.
And then so that's how it all kind of began, which like. And so it's crazy to think that it almost didn't happen, and it's definitely stupid. So I'm very thankful because Johnny could have easily and justifiably be like, okay, well, whatever, but
What do you think you'd be doing right now if you hadn't made that series of
Dude.
decisions?
Oh, I know exactly what I'd be doing. Okay,
Yeah.
so am I allowed to say corporate names?
Please,
Will we
say
get
them all.
sued?
Say everything.
So my very first job was Rayleigh's, the grocery store. Like right when I turned 16, I started working there. And I worked there for like 7, 8 years. And like I moved up and became a manager. And that was like my thing. I was like, well, I'm here, so fuck it. I guess I'll just do this. And so I know for a fact that like, because it kind of became a weird like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like familiar, comfortable kind of thing. Where even though it like sucked and I
Secure.
hated it. Exactly. It was like, well, I'm here, so whatever. So I'd probably just be there, just still working at stupid Rayleigh's.
Well, you would have gone to college too.
Well, yeah, I would have, because I was trying to do both, so I'd maybe get a degree in something.
Michael has an associate's degree though.
I
He's
did
the most
graduate-
educated man.
I
in the
graduated
band.
junior college, which is more than my parents have done. So I joke that I'm the smartest in the family.
And how do they feel about that?
They're really proud because like they had me when they were super young, so they had to drop out of school to have me. And I paid for it and everything, so they're like, you fucking did it. But then my sister went to Davis and got her bachelor's, so she like usurped me, which was kind of messed up.
And you'll
'cause
never forgive her for that.
I won't, because
Yeah.
it's like totally not right. Like she just why would she ever want to
Michael,
better
was-
herself?
you were king of the mountain, and now you're not.
I know. Now I'm just like a squire.
Yeah.
I'm not a king.
No, you're a daimyo now.
I'm a well, that's still kind of high.
Yeah,
up,
wait till she
right?
gets her master's.
that. She's going. That's what she's doing right now, and so she's just keep getting better
You
and
know,
better.
that
Yeah.
makes me sick.
right. Fuck her.
No way, I'm proud for your
listening to this
sister
with
for
me.
crying out loud.
Yeah, well, I am too. Like
Well,
it's
and-
really
Davis
cool.
is not a walk in
And
the
there's
park.
the
No,
dividing
yeah,
line between Tom and I. Tom is proud of your sister.
Yeah, absolutely,
And I
yeah.
think it's a shitty thing.
Oh, I know. Why I go to school makes no sense.
You're going down, Amy Weldon.
We can have her on the show for a proper rebuttal.
We should. Yeah.
That's true.
Now, did you break up with the girlfriend because of the band?
It was.
Johnny insisted.
Yeah,
I did. I was like,
Johnny was
dude,
like, you got it.
We're gonna be together. She's got
I
to
was like, you're right. It was very much. It was kind of. It was just kind of coming to an end in the sense that like, because I wasn't happy like working full time and going to school full time and hanging out with her full time, and so she was a nice person, but it was just we were just different. Like I was rock and she was prep. She was not rock. And so when this opportunity kind of arose and I was like, I think I want to pursue it, she was like really not cool. And she was like, that's fucking stupid. You're going to school. You have this job. Why would you want to do this?
She was, you were Slayer and she was Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So I was metal. And so
That's tough to get around.
and so it was a bummer, and it was kind of one of those things where I was just doing what I thought I had to do. Like, well, I think I have to go to school, and I think I have to have a job, and I think I have to be with her because I've just always been with her. But so it was kind of like things were kind of rocky anyway, and so we broke up the day I graduated junior college, and then that afternoon was our first band practice. So it was like all in one fell swoop.
What an emotionally tumultuous day.
I went to IHOP that day because my grandparents watched me graduate to JC, and they're like, "Let's go to IHOP."
It was
to
a full
celebrate.
day, dude.
Have you ever seen it work out in a positive way where a person tells another person, don't follow your dreams? You're making a dumb move.
Oh.
I mean, does that ever work?
no.
Just the sentence is like very mean.
I know. When you
Yeah.
were saying that to me, I was like, ugh.
Exactly.
How do
And-
those words even
and it
escape your
sucks
mouth?
Because like it's so subjective. You can't be like, well, X, Y, and Z. This is the reason why it's going to be great. Because in her mind, it's probably what a lot of conventional thinking is, where it's like, well, of course, it's like a risk. It might not pan out, so why even try it? Which I think is kind of dumb, but.
Oh no, you're young. You can
Exactly. And
blow,
that-
you've got time to blow so many situations.
Exactly. So that's
Yeah.
what why
Yeah, yeah.
not?
Well, just music is just what we are and what we do.
Yeah,
So it's like,
even if it doesn't become like Metallica famous, I still just enjoy hanging out with these guys and playing music.
Yeah.
But even that, she was like, "What? Why are you wasting your time?" Which was like,
why aren't
so-
you with me?
Exactly, like not cool.
So would you say that,
She's a doctor now.
would you,
Oh yeah, she's way successful without me.
God bless her,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
she's
Yeah.
just a normie.
Absolutely.
She's a
Yeah,
normie.
I was
dude.
just talking to Anthony
Anthony.
LaSalle about this.
About what?
Normies and how, for those out there, normie is like
someone not in the punk circle.
Yeah, and it's really stupid because, of course, we're like a weird random clique of a thing, and our group of circle people probably doesn't even matter in the next city. You know what I mean? But like, it's like a normie. Like they don't understand like, oh,
They don't go to shows. They don't even know what shows are.
Yeah, they don't understand like, oh, you're in a band, but you're not like on the radio, or
They don't-
you're in a band, but you're not Nickelback. You know what I mean?
They
Like,
don't listen to Against Me.
that kind of conventional thinking where it's like, oh, you're in a band, why aren't you in LA playing the Whiskey? Like that's how you make it, right? Like with Motley Crue.
I think, though, also they don't understand, zooming out a little bit, the idea of doing something and not being paid to do it.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like so often, I
Like,
get
so how much money did you make at the show? Like, that's
Yeah.
the first question you get
That's
from people.
almost
Like,
always the first
that's how my
question.
parents are too. Like they're so great and
Well, I got like
supportive.
25 cents in a bag
Exactly,
of Tootsie
like-
Rolls.
Yep, I got a lot. I got paid in Tootsie Rolls.
I got the
so.
Tootsie Rolls.
But
Funny,
like,
we
and,
did get paid.
and a normie would be like, what the fuck is that? And a non-normie would be like, that is so great.
exactly because
Right.
they understand
Yeah.
like the struggle.
Wow, they gave you Tootsie
exactly.
Rolls?
Yeah, yeah.
We did get paid in food stamps one time.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He took us
Can
to
you
Food
tell us
Max.
that story, please?
All right,
Yeah.
we're playing in Stockton, and we get finished for the show, and the dude's like, okay, I don't have money for you, but I have $150 left on my food stamps card. Let's go to Food Max. I'm going to buy you $150 for the food.
And we're like, all right.
And so we went to Food Max. We were with another touring band. We were touring with another band, and he bought both of our bands $150 worth of
Like
food.
very nice.
I bet you've all had this experience in regards to normies. You want to share. You're very excited about something you made.
Mm-hmm.
It's a video. It's a song. It's a whatever. And you're just so excited you you just can't hide it.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to share it with your friends or your family or your coworkers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you sit them down and you play it for them, and they don't know how to react.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
They're lost.
exceptionally uncomfortable. And in the first 30 seconds, you're like, "Fuck! I wish I could just turn this off."
Yeah.
They don't.
I wish I
fucking
could turn
get it.
back time and never do this.
I know,
And
right?
It's kind of sad because now I like. It sounds kind of like messed up, but I'm at the point now I don't tell anyone.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I do
kinda
not
don't
tell
bother.
if they're not like someone in the quote unquote circle who might get it. Like no one at my job knows like I'm in a band, and I refuse to tell people, and it sucked because in my last job people started finding out, and then there's always that awkward normie question.
What kind of music do you play?
Would
That's
I
the
like it?
worst, dude.
Yeah, like so yeah. How much do you make at your show? What kind of
How do I describe to you in bands that you know what my band sounds
exactly?
like?
So for a while the joke was like Metallica.
We
so
sound like Metallica.
So like when we would get like merch orders, right? And we go to like a post office and ship it out, and the guy's like, "Oh, you're in a band? What kind of band? Metallica." Because I feel like that's a good like people get it. Like, oh,
It's loud.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
loud.
there's
It's
yelling
rock.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They're like, I can contextually, I guess, understand that.
So you made a comment about the scene that you're in feels very important, that maybe the next town over, not so, potentially. But you guys have had more success than other like bands, and not that it matters.
Yeah.
But not that you're any better than
Oh, of
anybody.
course,
I'm
of
not
course.
saying that, but
Yeah.
but I mean, you have been on a couple labels that label mates are quite significant. How does that happen?
Luck.
Oh, dude, I don't even know.
The
It's all,
Robin
it's all-
Williams
it all
genie
seems just like,
kind of
how
a
did
bit.
it happen?
Yeah.
We
I mean, the right person heard something,
yeah,
right?
Well, that's exactly it.
yeah.
Like,
Did you guys put yourself out to the right person, or did the right person hear or see?
When
Yes and no,
When we
kinda.
started, we were extremely eager, and we took the very first. We made 5 songs as
Yeah.
Brother Bear that we recorded ourselves, and we were just super pumped. And we sent them to every single music blog that we could think of.
Yeah.
And put a download link and said, "Hey, just please talk about it and put up the download link so people can download it. Like, if you don't like it or don't want to talk about it, whatever, write about it. We don't care." Just to get it out there.
Yeah.
And I think
One of the blog owners that we sent it to was actually one of the owners of the label Tiny Engines, and he was like, "Dude, this is cool," and sent us an email and was like, "Are you writing another record?" We're like, "Oh my gosh," because they had put out bands like Tiger's Jaw and Castavet and stuff that we're really into, and we were like, yeah, we're writing. We can send you anything we're writing right now. Like, just please, like, help us." And they liked what we were doing and decided to put out our first LP.
And I think No Sleep heard of us because
A press release got
Well,
sent.
yeah,
Which is their
'cause-
current label, right?
Yeah, we're on
current
No Sleep.
label. The guy, is it the same guy? Was it?
It was Ray. Oh no,
Well, was it Will or Chuck who sent out the?
it was
One of- could've
Chuck.
been one of
I'm
them.
pretty sure it was Chuck.
Anyways, he was one of the guys who owns the label. He sent out press releases and stuff, and like the guy Ray, who is
He's like the business end of No Sleep Records. He was on vacation and he checked his email and it was like, this looks interesting, and listened to one song and immediately bought the whole album and listened to it like all through the vacation, I guess. And when he got back, he was like, "Dude, we should hit these dudes up." And they took us to
right place at the right time.
They took us to lunch at a burrito place.
It was very like you got wined and dined.
Yeah, it was
like,
crazy.
Like, I don't want to say like it's almost like kind of like getting seduced, where like it's like, oh, what big label. 'Cause-
But they didn't need to because we were already very seduced.
Yeah, and
Oh.
like what you were saying, Jim. Like they definitely have like really rad bands like Bouncing Composure and
Rocky Vadalato.
yeah, that's
Yeah, he
right.
just got
Yeah,
signed.
he just played
Yeah,
here
yeah.
recently.
Santa
yeah.
Rosa.
Yeah,
Fairly notable singer-songwriter.
yeah. So
Yeah,
they are like kind of
They're a big
like a
deal.
great big
Yeah.
deal, but.
Well, that's the thing I think that the normies, or whatever respectful term you would like to use to describe such people, don't understand is that, like, for you guys, and maybe this is like a secret we don't want everybody to know, but just the idea of being taken to lunch by people in power at a label that has those bands is like the most thrilling moment thus
Oh, yeah.
far of the
Oh,
musical
yeah.
journey.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
it was.
Nothing could happen with it, but the fact that people who own a label with notable bands have you, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just the fact they were interested enough to like take the time to do that was just them hitting us up in general was like insane.
Yeah.
Just hearing or even getting any kind of attention from any like I think Top Shelf Records like on Twitter like sent us something on Twitter, or I don't remember what it was. They retweeted or
They like
they said something to us
they
about
said
how
something really nice about
said like
it.
our record kills or something like that. And I
We
was just
just
like, dude,
freaked
that's
out.
so cool.
And now the Velveteen's on
I'm
Top
pretty
Shelf,
sure
which is
when
amazing.
I think Michael and I were at work at Rayleigh's because I also worked at Rayleigh's when we got the email about No Sleep, and I ran to the break room and immediately group texted everyone. Was like, "Holy shit!"
yeah.
Like, no way! I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bag boy at Rayleigh's right now, and I just got hit up by No
So
Sleep Records.
was this Brother Bear or
It's a state fault.
At this
It's a
time,
state false.
yeah. So we changed our name when we went with Tiny Engines, the label before.
Good idea.
Because it was like kind of like you guys.
There's
just-
other bands. and
Yeah.
the name
Yeah,
Brother
and
Bear.
so
You need to clear that up.
That's kind of exactly, and so that's when we put out the first full length. So
As State Faults.
As State Faults, yeah.
Hey, here's the thing. State Faults was listed in AP Magazine's 100 Bands You Need to Know in 2014.
This happened. Yeah.
That's
Oh
a
my
thing that
God.
happened.
That happened.
Katy Perry was also listed in that. I read from a Facebook comment.
What?
Not 2014, but in an earlier edition of
okay.
the AP's Magazine's 100 Bands.
Well, and
You Need to
everybody went
Know.
on and got to know her, too.
We're,
as a matter of fact.
we're going up, guys. Super Bowl halftime, here we come.
So this will sound like an annoying interview type thing, but it's going to lead to a good point.
Okay.
I hope. Jared Wallace, my man to my left here, said it's less a conscious effort and more listening to the bands that we're influenced by and wanting to make music that gives us that same feeling. That's what
Yeah.
you said in response to the bands that you feel have influenced you
Yeah.
guys. Some of those listed were Depeche Mode, Radiohead, The Cure, Thrice, Me Without You, As Cities Burn. And you guys have influences that extend far past other musicians, national or non. I know that the Final Fantasy video game series has played a role in some of your song titles. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, correct.
Why is that?
Well,
I think just like
Yeah.
before we were musicians, we were playing video games as kids, and as adults, we're still playing video games we were playing as kids. And I mean, before music took over our lives, I mean, video games were there for us as like an escape, like especially the role-playing games like Final Fantasy and Legend of Zelda and all that,
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger.
Oh,
I
yeah.
never got,
Oh,
you know
Secret of Mana.
that game's fucking hard.
yeah, right from the get-go.
Yeah.
So it's just like it was something to connect with, like as a story level, as an interactive story, like
Yeah.
not just like a movie. You felt because you were,
You're part of it.
You're part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like you really connect on that level. And as a musician, I've been able to connect on that level with other bands and other people and make a lot of friends and stuff. So it's kind of just like an homage, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
like I love Final Fantasy, I love video games, and I love music. So
Yeah.
it makes it all together.
I agree. The only kind of lame thing, though, at least in my opinion, is I guess it doesn't matter, but part of me kind of feels like, oh, I hope that's just not what I get remembered for. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you're that goofy band that likes video games. Like, well, yeah, but...
Do you feel that reputation is that strong that someone may take away the State Faults experience being a video game tribute
I think
to him?
a lot of the times, like the first thing people will talk to us about after shows is like, you guys played Final Fantasy X? And then do you remember that fight where like Seymour was like super strong?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I do.
That's where we got the whole rhythm section.
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
That's
And
we were-
so that's kind of like a thing. And then like for a while too, I had like this huge mustache. And so that was another kind of like band to fan interaction where it's like, you're the guy with the mustache. I saw you online. And
Michael, before the shows would even start,
It
would
was
have
just
people
a
come
blue
up to him
one.
like, you're at State Faults, you have the mustache.
Yeah, and so
I'd take
that's
pictures
like
with
really
them.
cool and stuff and like really flattering. But it's also like, there's that dumb artistic, like, me, I want to be known for my music, not this.
You're a
me.
human
not my
being.
mustache.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not just a facial hair.
But I agree with you what you're saying, like as far as influences and stuff. And it's cool because it's another level you can interact with someone. So it's not just music, but you can also talk to them and be like, yeah, that one game was sick, or
Right.
that one
Yeah.
part was
That's
cool.
another way to
so-
connect for sure.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think of you as a video game band. Tom, you don't think of them as a video game band.
No, I didn't. I didn't
even
even know that
know.
that was.
Oh,
a
that's
part
good.
Of it.
See,
Yeah, good.
your legacy is safe.
Okay, good.
Cool.
But I do think that they are when you play those games, you are entering a world of like story
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and moral and
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
sorts
well, look at Led Zeppelin. I mean, they had so many references. What's his name there?
Well, there's
Jimmy
that
Wright,
one-
Robert Plant.
He was big on Tolkien.
Yes.
and they
Yeah.
kept.
Yes.
And for me, that was tough to do. As a kid listening to it, it took me out of the moments of what they were writing about. I didn't believe it at that point. I had issues with that.
Yeah. Well, I think Johnny does a really good job because he writes all the lyrics. So, like, for example, like one of our songs, well, a couple of our songs, like Meteor, Ultima, these are like attacks that you can do in the game. But I think he does a good job in the sense that, like what you're saying about how, like, I think, is it Misty Mountain or Over the Hills and Far Away? Like, he straight up
Yes.
says,
Yes, boom.
and the Hobbit walked on the grass.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
instead of being so direct.
That was hard for me.
Yeah, instead of being so direct, Johnny, I
the
feel like.
depths of Mordor.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I feel like Johnny's lyrics aren't so
Oh, well,
black and white. They're more to it.
The songs aren't about video
Exactly.
games. They're just named after.
Exactly.
and that is why Johnny Ross Andrew is a genius.
He is a genius.
Thank you.
A handsome.
I know. I'm just kidding. I'm also really humble.
Right. Yeah.
So speaking of which, you recently wrote that is it Despera?
Yes.
That's one of your favorite songs that you guys have ever written.
Yeah.
Is there anything about the theme, message, or lyrics of that song that speaks to you particularly?
Yeah. It's just like the whole, I mean, Desperate is a B-side to Resonate Desperate. And that whole album was about anxiety and just not really feeling invincible anymore. Like as a youth, you tend to feel invincible, like nothing can hurt you and that you're infallible and stuff. But like I was really feeling my mortality and stuff. And I think that song, you know, we were talking about not being very direct. I feel like that was the most direct I was able to articulate my feelings at the time. And just the setting that the lyrics were written in, like I had written down, like on the couch in my friend's house with these dudes sleeping around me. Actually, Michael was in the next room watching Star Trek super loud.
Not by choice. I just,
So what, like this was like a weak moment in your life or a weak period where you're feeling weak, you're feeling
like
humbled maybe compared to how you had before, but yet you're surrounded by
But I'm surrounded by people that love me and I love them, and you know, like and recording that album and playing the songs definitely just is like a healing and coping mechanism for that, and writing it all down definitely helped me deal with it all. And I think just being so direct in that song just makes it one of my favorites.
Tom Gaffey, do you have any thoughts on the State Faults experience thus far?
Yeah, it's been a great experience. And they're a dynamic trio.
oh, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Like
you.
I say, they hearkened back to a couple things that I really relate well to watching them play. Most of all, I think what you notice is if you spend some time watching and listening to them, they are a tight crew. I've learned tonight that they've spent some time together as friends. And that's must have a lot to do with the fact that you guys are a tight band. You can just watch it. You've got a rhythm section that I think is really dynamic, and then you've got a guitar line just leading through in and out of it all that is just extremely effective.
Well, if you liked that description, then you're really going to love what you have to see next.
And they are tight. They're a tight, powerful band.
We're tight butthole.
Yeah, well, and
Well, I mean, not
we
you.
understand they're clean.
The other two, sure, but not you.
Not me.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Thank you. Anyway, let's be honest here if we're going to... Yeah. Anyway, we'll continue that talk off the air, and we really appreciated you guys coming on tonight.
Yeah,
Thank you so
having
much.
us.
You guys are awesome.
Feels
And-
like it's been so short.
We love State Faults.
We love
Yeah,
you.
we
We love you guys.
And we are excited to watch you play music right now. So we're going to do a breakdown and we're going to do a setup, and State Faults is going to play us some music. So thank you guys for joining us
Thank you.
tonight.
Thank you.
It's in my head. Everything was yesterday.